Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us for our 2:30 streaming show. I'm Jamie Buchanan.
And I'm Robinson Miles. Now, we start today with a health alert that you're going to want to be aware of. A stomach bug you've probably never heard of is showing up across the country, and it could be in your next salad. Cyclospora is a foodborne parasite most often linked to fresh fruits and vegetables, especially prepackaged salads and raw produce.
Now, symptoms include watery, explosive diarrhea that can last 1 to 2 weeks. So far, no cases have been confirmed in Vanderburgh County, but we went ahead and checked in with some of our local doctors for what you need to know to stay healthy. They say most people will recover from this on their own, but you should head to the ER if you develop a fever, can't keep fluids down, or notice blood in your stool. Now, doctors say the best prevention is wash your fresh fruits and vegetables before eating them every time. Health officials stress there is no reason to stop eating produce. Just take that extra step before it hits your plate. Now, this is something our Leslie Chapman is working on today. Cases have been reported in Indiana, but thankfully none in Vanderburgh County just yet.
Now, on to our next headline. We have new information now following the ongoing financial issues at Oakland City University. A group of current and former OCU staff has filed a formal complaint with the Higher Learning Commission asking for immediate action. In that complaint, they allege failure to pay faculty and staff since April 24th. A lapse in employment life insurance and AD&D coverage, failure to conduct required program reviews, and hostile response to employee questions during a staff meeting.
Now, they are asking the HLC to acknowledge this complaint within 24 hours. They're also calling for an independent financial audit. OCU President Dr. Ron Dempsey has not responded to our multiple interview requests. So that's a story we're going to keep our thumb on for a while until we get, the most up-to-date information. We'll always pass it along to you.
Now, for our final headline here, moving over to Warwick County, there is a public hearing on a controversial proposed data center ordinance. Now, it starts in just under an hour at 6 at the courthouse in Boonville. Area Plan Commission officials say a group of community members spent hours studying data centers to help prepare a draft ordinance if one tries to locate in the county.
Now, any action from the Planning Commission tonight would have to go to the County Commission as a recommendation. Now, 14 News will be inside of that meeting tonight. We're going to have those developments and, of course, a full report for you tonight on 14 News at 10. I feel like data centers is a topic we are going to continue covering for a while. A lot of questions from the public. So our Gabe Pontonis is going to talk to some of those people who have those questions and figure out what their concerns are. Again, that meeting is at 6 tonight.
So we have all those developing stories as well as a whole lot more. So be sure to circle back for 14 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10.
All right. Do not go anywhere. Meteorologist Arden Gregory will have your latest forecast right after this break.
Stay informed on your local news and weather throughout the day by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows. At 8:30 a.m., get your First Alert forecast to plan the day ahead and catch up on the news that happened overnight with the 14 News Sunrise team. In the afternoon, get the latest headlines, forecasts, and a preview of the stories we're working on with the 14 First Alert streaming show at 2:30. And get an in-depth look at the 14 First Alert forecast so you're ready for the next big thing with the 14 First Alert weather show at 9 p.m. Watch the 14 First Alert streaming show that fits your schedule and works best for you. Streaming on your phone by downloading the 14 News app and the 14 First Alert weather app. On your smart TV by using the 14 News streaming app. And stream anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or on 14news.com. Stay connected and stay informed by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows on your favorite streaming devices.
Good afternoon. I'm 14 First Alert meteorologist Arden Gregory, and this is a look at the next 7 days, just kind of a snapshot version of it. And what I want to point out is this is exactly, textbook what kind of weather you should expect for mid-July in the tri-state. Our average highs this time of year are around 89. Our average low is around 69. Now we are trending just a couple degrees warmer than that, but really we don't have a single day this week where the high is off from the average by more than 2 or 3 degrees. And then the low, similar story here, 3 or 4 degrees off at the most from the average. So it's, maybe just a hair warmer than you would typically expect, but in general, this is very typical July weather that we have in store this entire week, and that does include some very isolated chances of rain. Right now, we are dry across the tri-state. We've had a few clouds bubble up this afternoon. It's still mostly sunny. We'll wait and see if any of these clouds are capable of producing some rain. We've got one shower way off to our east there along I-65, but in general, it's pretty dry out there. The humidity is not outrageous, and so I'm just not convinced that there is enough energy to really produce any pop-up showers and storms today, but you know, this time of year that would be very common, so I wouldn't rule it out. Our temperatures are currently sitting in the mid to upper 80s. It's 87 in Evansville and Henderson, 86 in Owensboro, Newburgh and Madisonville sitting at 85. It does feel just a little bit hotter than it actually is, but not miserable out there. Our heat index values are, for the most part, sitting in the low 90s. It feels like 92 right now in Evansville and Owensboro. Henderson with a heat index of 93. We'll climb just another degree or two this afternoon. Most of us are going to top out somewhere in the upper 80s, mostly sunny, and again, seasonably hot. It is kind of hot out there, especially if you're standing in the sun, but it's the exact kind of weather you should expect for mid-July, right? This time of year, it would be a shock if it wasn't hot. As for tonight, we'll have clear skies overhead. I wouldn't rule out a little patchy fog, but I don't think it's going to be a widespread issue. Temperatures are going to fall back into the low 70s, and then tomorrow, maybe just a few degrees warmer than today. Mostly sunny, still pretty typical July weather though, with high temperatures in the low 90s. Our wind is still coming from the east northeast tomorrow, so it won't be terribly humid, and for that reason I'm also not convinced we'll have enough moisture to really get going with any rain tomorrow. I wouldn't rule out a stray shower popping up somewhere, but it really seems unlikely to me. I think we'll probably stay dry this afternoon and tomorrow afternoon, but beyond that we start to see just this daily chance of a pop-up shower or storm. A slim chance many of us will stay dry, but a stray shower or storm could pop up in the afternoon Wednesday or Thursday. Our wind direction will shift slightly to the southeast, so it'll be about as hot, but I do think Wednesday and Thursday will be a little more humid, so that feeds that slightly better chance of a pop-up shower. And again, Friday, maybe a slightly better chance of rain, but still only at 30%. And we kind of see that through the weekend and into the start of next week, where we're caught in this pattern where each day you could maybe see an isolated shower or thunderstorm popping up, but most of this week will probably be dry. Those are very isolated chances. So it's just going to be luck of the draw. A handful of folks will get a little pop-up rain in the afternoon, while most of the tri-state stays hot and dry, and that's going to be the case essentially every day this week. Looking at our temperatures so far this July, it has been pretty seasonable. We started out with that heat wave, that dangerous heat wave through the very last few days of June and first few days of July there. And then that kind of broke over the Independence Day holiday weekend. And it's actually been a little cooler than average here recently, especially on Saturday. It was cloudy. We had some scattered rain. We only made it to 83 that day, when our normal highs this time of year would be up around 89. We have had, as I mentioned, several chances of rain in the past few days. Saturday in particular, we had scattered rain and even some thunderstorms kind of on and off throughout the entire day. Moving forward, our rain chances will be much more isolated, so many of you may stay dry for most, if not all, of this week, but at some point you'll probably get caught under a shower or a thunderstorm. Where exactly that would happen or on which day it might happen at your house, who's to say? It's going to be just these very isolated pop-up showers that we see this all the time this time of year, right? Where you get into it starts out sunny, you get into the afternoon, those clouds start to bubble up, and then as it gets a little hotter and a little more humid later into the day, some of them tap into that moisture, that energy enough that they develop into just these little isolated showers and thunderstorms. Most of the time, they barely move at all. They just kind of bubble up in one place, and they hang out there, and then they just kind of rain themselves out, and then you'll have one pop up over here and then rain itself out. So that's the kind of very isolated rain chances we'll be tracking through this entire week, really. Looking at the extended outlook for next week, it is showing that we have near to maybe slightly above average precipitation, so maybe a slightly better chance of rain as we get into next week. But with that, the temperature outlook is expected to be right around average, with slightly hotter weather trending down to our south. But here locally, it looks like we're going to be still stuck in this kind of typical July pattern on through next week as well, with very seasonable temperatures, maybe just a very slightly better chance of rain. But really, we're not tracking any big changes over the next 7 days. Every day, it's basically going to be a slightly higher or slightly lower chance of rain, maybe a few degrees warmer, a few degrees cooler, but it's going to be very minor changes through the whole next 7 days. We don't have any kind of major weather system that's going to bring some kind of big warm up, rain chance, cool down, things like that. We're just kind of stagnant in, again, what would be kind of the quintessential typical July weather here through the next 7 days. Checking in on the comments. Good afternoon, Cheyenne, Jeff, and Laura. Always appreciate you guys tuning in. Obviously, here in the tri-state, the weather can always change. So if it does seem like there's going to be some kind of big disruption, we'll be bringing you those updates throughout the week. The First Alert Weather app is a great way to get push alert notifications if there are big changes to the forecast. But in general, the next 7 days looks like it's going to be a lot of kind of rinse and repeat. We will see a slight uptick in our humidity Wednesday and Thursday, so you may feel that, and with that comes that isolated chance of rain. But again, this time of year, that shouldn't be a shock to anybody. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the forecast. I'll have your forecast on 14 News tonight at 4, 5, 6, and 10, and I'll do another streaming show here tonight at 9. So I hope you'll join us at 4, 5, 6, and 10 for an updated look at your forecast, along with all of the latest news headlines as well. Everybody enjoy the rest of your afternoon.